Well, joining us now is Gordon Lawson, CEO of Conceal, a cybersecurity firm. He is also a former U.S. naval officer who served both in the Middle East and Africa. Gordon, welcome to Faith Nation. The group claiming credit for these attacks, known as Killnet, has a history of attacking NATO allies since the start of Russia's invasion in Ukraine. Gordon, does this group have any official links to the Russian government?
You know, I think it's always difficult to tell, John, how the official links are. But I think it's pretty well understood in the national security community that certainly there is tacit support for these criminal organizations that are conducting these cyber operations.
If there is passive support that can be linked to the Russian government, what kind of response can be made from whether it's NATO allies or the U.S. government for these attacks?
Well, I think there's a couple things here. I think first off, we need to continue as a nation with our allies to put pressure on Russia. Their behavior in Ukraine has been abhorrent, as you covered earlier in the segment. But I think really the most important thing that the United States can do and our NATO allies can do is continue to strengthen our cyber defenses. We need to make sure that our critical infrastructure, as we're seeing with these airports, are really hardened from these types of attacks. Now, the good thing is a DDoS attack is really more of an annoyance than something that can cause catastrophic harm. But at the same time, we have to continue to invest in the cyber defenses that will protect against these sorts of operations and make our infrastructure more resilient.
Gordon, you teed us up perfectly for the next question. The attacks targeted our nation's largest airports. While it did not affect flights this time around, could a denial of service attack jamming websites with data lead to dangerous outcomes?
Absolutely. I mean, the web and browsers, really the internet, the connectivity is the new edge of cybersecurity. Almost every vulnerability can be traced to that, and the vectors that affect those applications come through the internet for sure. So yes, these things can always get worse. I think also denial of service can often lead or be a foil for a ransomware attack. And we've seen a ransomware attack occur in the nation with one of the largest healthcare providers this week as well, that's purported to have maybe 20 million people's personal data being leaked. So absolutely, these things are usually cascade, and it's only the first kind of salvo, if you will, in cyber warfare. And so we have to continue to make folks understand how significant the threat is, continue to invest in cyber defenses, and really do everything we can to make sure we know that this is a threat that's not going to stop.
Gordon, as we said earlier, Killnet is the same group behind other attacks on NATO. It's also claimed responsibility for taking down a U.S. congressional website this summer. How well prepared is the United States for further attacks?
I think that there's a spectrum here, John. I think that you think about large banks and large organizations, Fortune 100, they have very large cyber budgets and they're investing to defend against these threats. Smaller companies, I'll give you an example, the Los Angeles Unified School District was under a massive ransomware attack that still has not recovered from, where thousands of children's personal data was leaked. This was just a couple weeks back. They do not have the same level of budgets as a top-tier financial institution, for example. And so there's a spectrum here. There needs to be continued investment. There are, I think, strong solutions out there that add value and can give people that minimal level, but it's certainly a problem that's not going away anytime soon.
All right, Gordon Lawson, CEO of Conceal. Gordon, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.